Hi, Dr. Saxena here, and we'll be discussing something on carbohydrates. I just want to talk about this in a big way. Where I would like to talk about simple sugars. You have got something like oligosaccharides, and the third is polysaccharides. We'll try to understand what are simple sugars first. Simple sugars are usually monosaccharides, can be something like glucose, fructose, and disaccharides. Disaccharides are usually sucrose, which is a combination of fructose and the glucose. So what is happening is toxic effects first. Toxic effects. I just wanted to tell you in a sequential way. This is increased amount of simple sugars. We are talking about the simple sugars, which are simple carbohydrates, increases the body production of epinephrine. This is called adrenaline by to 400%. Excessive consumption accelerates the aging process by causing cross linkages. It's called glycosylation of the body proteins. It has been known to cause atherosclerosis, and because again it is because due to the simple sugars causing cross-linking of collagen, that's the constituent of the blood vessels. The other things we talk about is this is excessive consumption is leading to hypertension and all that. It's all because of the same process, and we now we understand what are this the role of excess sugar which is doing to the your bowels. Basically bowels are usually intestines. It exacerbates your irritable bowel syndrome. I've been talking to one of the patient who has have been treating now, and the most important treatment stage is he has to get away from that carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates. He can always go for the complex carbohydrates and all that later. So in digestive system, it plays a very huge part because all these simple sugars, which are refined and all that, they increase your blood sugar levels to a high level, and at the same time, they are not helping out your intestinal tract also. There is irritable bowel syndrome is caused because reducing the buffering effect of polysaccharides, which this simple carbohydrates do. Excessive consumption of simple sugars damages your kidney. Underline this. This is again because simple sugars causing cross linkage with the collagen, that is a component of the tiny filters of the kidney. It's a big take. We are really understanding what are the nasty effects of that. Going to the other effects like eyes, it can help increase the cataract. Again, cross linkages is the kind of thing. The biggest kind of thing I will put it across in metabolism and immune system. Immune system, this accelerates the excessive consumption, accelerates the food allergies. Number one, it feeds the cancer cells. This sugar feeds the cancer cells, and that's the reason we always advise all our cancer patients not to take on this particular table sugar, fruit sugar, and all this particular stuff, which is called simple sugars. Apart from that, when we are talking about immune system, you have got a candida, you have got a fungal component, which is very very essential. This we have been telling in the present pandemic also. What is that is the simple sugars in the form of milk, in the form of sugar, in the form of fruit juices, they feed the detrimental fungal elements in the system, which are detrimental because this yeast proliferation, when it goes unchecked, causes a problem. And people with oral, they have problems with diabetes, they have problems with cancer. They should always try to see that they should not flare up this intestinal yeast problem. This particularly makes my thing very very clear. I just want to be very sure no one takes this simple sugars, be it for whatever reasons. It's not a healthy choice at all, because this sugar consumption, which is a simple carbohydrate, impairs the ability of the neutrophils to act as function as phagocytes. So in case of any kind of infection, you are left without with your neutrophils not working in a proper direction and proper this one. Their neutrophils fail to work as phagocytosis due to their this particular stuff. So this is the most bigger take I just want to. I tell everyone, if you are trying to take a vaccination, if you are trying to see that you don't get into infection and all that, the simplest thing is cut off that white sugar, cut off that honey, cut off that this particular thing. A lot of things have been said about honey. We have that Shuddha honey and all that. Absolutely, I'll tell you, everything has got some um, uh, nasty components in that. It's better to avoid this particular thing, because your bacteria, your virus, your fungi will thrive on this media, which is simple sugar. Fruit sugar, no fruit sugar, no fruits for the priming. If you want to take fruit juices, no. Try to take fruits as a whole, that can help you. Metabolism is one thing I'd always been talking about. This consumption of simple sugars cause the production of excessive quantities of acetic acid, which further contributes to the excessive production of endogenous cholesterol. It's slightly complex. I just want everyone to understand excessive consumption of the simple sugars reduces your HDL cholesterol and increases your LDL cholesterol. This is not a desirable thing in any kind of any person who is looking for health as a this one. Apart from that, excessive consumption of this sugars causes obesity. We all of know it is excessive simple sugars are converted to triglycerides, and someone gives me a call in the morning, my triglycerides are very high. It is about something touching 200 and all that. The first advice I would like to give him is cut down the white sugar, any kind of simple carbohydrates you are taking. That will help him in a big way. Yes, sugars causes, sometimes it causes joint problems also, and it doesn't help your microbiome at all. Microbiome is a intestinal flora. You need to keep this intestinal flora properly, so that you can always work it out in a proper way. Microbiome is a yes. Coming to cosmetic part also, it causes that wrinkle which appears early, and yes, it wrinkle and all wrinkles of the skin and the face. It's not a very desirable thing. You need to look into this particular things. And the other things which I somehow believe, and I think because this simple sugars cause depletion of body vitamin B6, and vitamin B6 is required for the metabolism for in a big way, and these sugars interfere with the transport of vitamin C as well through the body, as because sugars also have the same kind of use the same transport system as vitamin C. So you will get into a deficiency of vitamin C if you take excess of carbohydrates, which is simple carbohydrates. Other things you have, people have. I keep getting a calls. We have got that craving about sugar, and as a doctor, what I can do? How can I help them? I can always add some things like amino acids or glutamic or glutamine acid, glutamine, L-glutamine. By that they can reduce the cravings, and I try to work on the fungal problem. If I reduce the fungal problem, things will become set right. And I try to see, these are the same simple things you should never get into something like hypoglycemia, because hypoglycemia increases the craving for sugars, and see that you maintain the glucose at a normal kind of stuff levels. And this is what you should understand by a thing called simple sugars. Simple sugars are really it's simple, but it's quite nasty, and you have to be very very careful. All of us has got that sweet tooth, and once we don't satisfy that our teeth, we don't feel full. Thank you.